Congratulations to the top three qualifiers for the 2019 Austrian Grand Prix. Starting in third place will be Max Verstappen. In second place, Lewis Hamilton. And taking the second pole position of his Formula One career, starting in pole position, Charles Leclerc. Charles, many congratulations. Both of those laps in Q3 were good enough for pole position. Tremendous performance by you and the team. Just how satisfying is this for you?
Well, obviously, I'm extremely happy. We have been competitive since FP2, but it's always difficult to do the lap when you need to in Q3, and we did. So I'm very happy. We changed a little bit the car after the first run in Q3. I knew it would be a compromise a little bit for the first sector, but actually it wasn't that bad. And then I improved, I think, quite a lot in the third sector, which was nice to see, and very happy for the team for the pole position. But it's just a shame for Seb, as I think probably the two cars should be closer to first and second. So yeah, it's a bit of a shame for the team, but very happy anyway of my own performance.
And just looking ahead to tomorrow's race, how confident are you about the race pace of your car?
Well, I think on Friday actually it didn't look bad compared to Mercedes, but also Red Bull. So we are pretty happy. I think we are quite competitive this weekend. I think tomorrow the start will be very important. There's a long straight after it, but normally we are quite fast on the straight. So hopefully we can keep that first positions in the first three corners. But the pace itself looks promising.
Charles, well done. Lewis, coming on to you. It's been a bit of a tricky weekend for Mercedes so far. Great lap from you in the end to get second place. But can you just tell us about the performance of your car and how that session was for you?
Well, firstly, congratulations to Charles. He did a great job. He's done a great job all weekend. For us, yeah, we've been chipping away at it, but already from the get-go, we would notice a bit of a deficit to the Ferraris. We thought it would be a bit closer than it was, but they eked out some more time in P3 and then going into qualifying. I mean, we were definitely underestimated how fast they would be, I would say, and yeah, I think it was just I think ultimately on the straights they really kill us on the straights. So they've got that extra bit of power that works really well here, and I guess they've managed to figure out how to get their car to work around the medium and high speed corners. So yeah, I think for us the car's been feeling good. Just, as I said, just can't do much more on the straights, and I'm not really quite sure why it is we lose the time on the straights, but that's something we're working towards. But still, the last part was really difficult because I think there was three cars right behind me going into the last corner. Timing was, everyone was waiting and pushing it to the limit, and we rarely go out right at the end of qualifying. So, but as you can see, it's quite a bit windier today, and I think tow was probably important. So nonetheless, I'm really happy with the position, to get up here, and excited to hopefully have a bit of a race with these two.
You're under investigation for an incident that happened in Q1 between yourself and Kimi Räikkönen. What's your take on that?
Yeah, basically I saw one of the team's cars came by, and I was braking for the hairpin turn 3, and I saw the other one coming, so I got off the brakes and tried to go straight on to try and get out of the way because I didn't want to meet them in the corner. And I don't think I met them in the corner, but I think that probably put him off, I would have thought. So wasn't ideal, and I wasn't aware that car was coming, so not the easiest.
Okay, thank you, Lewis. Max, coming on to you. Congratulations on third place. How satisfying is it for you to split the Mercedes this afternoon?
Well, I think just in general, our whole weekend, the performance has been a lot better. Before we came here, I was actually not really looking forward to qualifying because I knew that it was going to be hard. But actually, with the new updates we got to the car, I think we gained a bit of performance. And yeah, I was really happy with the car throughout qualifying, and I think in the corners as well, we look very competitive. Yeah, we do know that we are lacking quite a bit of pace to Ferrari and even to Mercedes, of course, on the straights. But knowing that this is not a great track for us, it's still a great result in qualifying.
And there's a huge amount of support for you this weekend. Just what's it like to have a Mexican wave follow you around the racetrack?
Yeah, it's a Dutch wave, but okay. Yeah, no, it's good. It's bringing a big smile on my face, of course. I mean, it's not giving me extra lap time, unfortunately, but yeah, it's a good motivation to have, and I can't wait for tomorrow.
Okay, thank you, Max. Let's open this to the floor. And as ever, please remember to give your name and publication. First question, please.
Christian Immervoll from motorsporttotal.com. Luis, just how much do you think the drag is around this track in qualifying, and do you think there can even be a benefit for you tomorrow at the start, considering you're behind Charles?
The drag? Yeah. Well, I mean, slipstream. Oh, the slipstream. I mean, I've not really been behind all the cars. It's difficult, just as you saw in Montreal, how hard it is to follow Ferrari. Even in the slipstream, they tend to pull away. I think that bit of an advantage they have is a little bit different in qualifying to compared to the race, but yeah, I don't even know if I'll be starting where I am now, so we'll wait and see.
Thank you, Lewis. Next one.
Andrew Benson, BBC Sport for Charles. Charles, there seems to be something about you in these tracks with big braking points into slow corners. Is there something about your style that helps you in these? You've had an advantage over Seb all weekend, it seems.
Overall, as I've said in Paul Ricard, I changed a little bit the approach from Paul Ricard, and I really felt I did a step forward. Then Austria is also my favorite track, so it might fit a little bit better to my driving style. But overall, I think since Paul Ricard, I did a step forward, and I could feel it in the car. So happy with this. Yeah, that's it.
Thank you. Next one.
Scott Mitchell from Autosport to Charles and Max. Charles, all the attention often is for Ferraris on the straight line speed, but you had a really strong performance in the middle sector today and at the end. Have you sort of added a bit more downforce to the setup this weekend to target the corners? And to Max, you talked about having a little bit updated, stronger car performance here. How much better has it been behind the wheel this weekend?
I think our main issue in the last few Grand Prix was the front. We didn't have enough fronts. I think this weekend it was quite a bit better. We tried different setups also, setup philosophy, and it seems to be a bit better. So it doesn't mean that we'll do a big step up for the other races, but for here it worked pretty well. So yeah, I think the most time gain on the second sector is because of a stronger front compared to the last Grand Prix.
Thank you. And Max?
Yeah, I think the things we brought, they just gave me more grip in general. You know, I didn't really had big problems before with a lot of oversteer or a lot of understeer, but just not enough overall grip. And I think that seems to be improved again, and that's very positive.
Thank you. Next one.
Maria Reyer, motorsporttotal.com. A question to Charles. We saw Ferrari using the soft tire in Q2, so you're starting on soft and the Mercedes on the medium. Why did you use the soft tire there?
Well, we did some analysis after FP2, like every team do after the race simulation, and the soft looked pretty good. So we are pretty happy with our strategy. It's definitely different than Red Bull and Mercedes, but yeah, only tomorrow will tell who was right to do that choice. But I'm happy with it.
Thank you. Next one.
Peter Vámosi, Racing Line Hungary. A question is to Luis and Max. Silly season 2020 is opened now. Can you imagine that you both can be teammates in next year?
What was that?
Lewis, you and Max, teammates next year. What are your thoughts on that, were it to happen?
It's the newest rumor.
People are always making up stuff. I don't think... Well, it's the first I've heard of it. I think the team's pretty happy with Valtteri and me, so I do know Max is definitely interested in opportunities, but I don't know, maybe. If there is, then great. I don't mind driving with you. I'll drive against whoever.
Well, I guess those people know more than me.
Thank you. Next one.
Dan Knudsen, Auto Action and Speed Sport. Charles, was the team keeping you informed of what was wrong with Seb's car, and were there any concerns about your car?
Yes, I was informed. Not exactly what happened because I don't know yet, but I was informed he had some issues with the car. They didn't feel concern on my side. I don't know if they were. Maybe they were behind the computers, but they weren't showing it to me. So no, I don't think so.
Thanks. Next one.
Carlo Platella for F1 in generale. Charles, this is your second pole position. Are you going to approach to the race in a different way from Bahrain?
No, I think my approach to the race itself didn't change much from the beginning of the season. I did a change of approach for qualifying, but not so much for the race. And for now, I'm pretty happy with it. So no.
Thank you, Charles. Next one.
BBC Sport, for all three of you, slipstream is obviously becoming a huge issue in qualifying with these cars with extra drag. It's kind of funny to hear you all talking about it all the time over the radio, particularly you, Lewis. Today we heard loads from you. What do you think about that? Do you think slipstreaming should be such an important part of setting the fastest lap time in qualifying?
Lewis, why don't we start with you?
I mean, for us, it's because we're slow on the straights and they're fast, so we need to regain it somewhere. But I mean, they do it in IndyCar, and I don't see why it shouldn't be. It's not everywhere. Most places we don't use slipstream, but there are places like this, like Monza, with the long straights, that it's beneficial. I think that's just another element that comes into it. I don't think that should be a problem, personally, but.
Charles?
Yeah, same opinion. I think it's always a compromise. It depends on the track, what you gain in the straight. On some track, you lose even more in the corners, but here it's not the case. We just win more on the straights by taking a slipstream, so that's why there were quite a bit of fight to try and have the best slipstream. Actually, the last lap was pretty tricky because there was a train of cars. The only thing is that I feel that some cars, not of the top cars, but in the last lap, they were slowing down unnecessarily. They had quite a big gap in front, and that creates quite a problem for the cars behind. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's part of racing.
Yeah, not much more to add.
Okay, let's move on. Next question.
Luke Smith, Crash.net. Charles, a question for you. You talked about your change of approach in regards to qualifying from Paul Ricard. Could you talk a little bit more about what exactly you have changed with your approach? And do you think that adjustment is the biggest thing you've learned so far this year with Ferrari?
Well, as I've explained, just to be a little bit more step by step during the qualifying sessions, I would probably over-pushed, and then on the setup side, try to anticipate the track evolution, which is quite a big factor now in Formula One. So just these two, and I suddenly found quite a bit of time.
Thank you. Any more?
Peter Lavička, Eva News for Lewis. Lewis, how big advantage is it to start on mediums, and how confident are you that you can win tomorrow?
If we get to start the races in the positions, if I get to start the race with those guys, I think it will be quite a fun race. This is a track that you can follow a little bit more, but still it's going to be quite difficult at the top between the few of us. And I think the Ferraris are particularly very quick on their long runs, not only in the short runs. So it'd be not so easy to keep up with Charles. But I'd give it everything I had. If I can stay in the toe, for example, and be there, if we're on a different tyre, maybe be able to offset each other. Them starting on that tyre, I would tend to think that means they're going for a 2, most likely, unless that tyre goes a lot further than we anticipate. I don't have the numbers, so but the medium tyre hopefully will be able to go longer. I think a 1 and 2 is very close anyways, so how you work them, safety cars and all these different things would be interesting, but at least it makes it interesting, hopefully.
Any more?
It had absolutely no consequences for it.
Daniel Mayer, gphireg.hu. A question to Lewis. Lewis, now that you're leading the championship, if tomorrow there's going to be a head-to-head battle between those other two guys, will you consider that now you are leading the championship and it's not necessary to beat them? It will be good if you finish on the podium, or you will fight as it will be the first or the last race of the season?
You've not been here too long, huh? Don't know me. Hopefully, those of you that have been here know me well, know me slightly better, I would say. No, of course, I always try to have a balanced approach between aggression and conservative, and of course I'll be pushing for the win tomorrow. That's ultimately always the goal, and there should be nothing more, nothing less. I think, as I said, it's not going to be easy to even get close to be passing the Ferraris. I think they've been very, very quick all weekend, but of course I'll be giving absolutely everything, and I don't like ever settling for anything but first. I think have you seen the Talladega Nights? What? You seen Talladega Nights?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
If you ain't first, you're last. So that's my mentality too.
Haven't seen it.
You need to watch it. Genius.
Thanks, Lewis. Any more? One more question.
Bart van Dooyeweert, Nu.nl. Question from Max. Yesterday, Helmut Marko confirmed there's an escape clause in your contract. Can you tell the details about it?
What do you think, my friend? Of course not. Why would I? I know, but I don't care.
Okay. On that note, gentlemen, good luck tomorrow. Well done today, and a full transcript of this press conference will be available shortly at fia.com.